This is a short video showing you how to use the Cite Them Right guide in conjunction with the Academic Integrity Guide to create references at QMU. First, follow the link to the Cite Them Right guide. Click on the institutional login where the institution profile picture is. Choose to log in via your institution. And on this page, if Queen Margaret University does not appear here, find it by typing in Queen Margaret University and click on it when it appears there. You will be prompted to input your Shibboleth or QMU credentials. You can save these for later as well if you wish, and click Login. Once logged in, choose the referencing style you need. The vast majority of students at QMU use Harvard Cite Them Right referencing style, while certain other programs use the APA 7th edition style. For this video, we'll just look at the Harvard style. If you have to reference a print book, here is an example of where you would find the information to create your reference. You'd find the title on the title page and the author's names, as well as usually the publisher name. However, if it isn't clear from the title page, you might also find the publisher details on the back of the title page. This is where you'd also find the year of publication for that book. So to create the reference for this book, using Harvard Cite Them Right, we need to look at the example for printed books here. You will see the citation order in which the information should be written, starting with authors or editors, year of publication, title of the book in italics, edition number if it's not the first edition, publisher, and series or volume number where relevant. And you have an example with one author, with 2 or 3 authors, and examples with 4 or more authors. Our example has 3 authors. You can start typing in their surnames and initials, the year of publication, and the title and the publisher in this box. As you can see, I've typed in the authors of this book, putting and between the last 2 authors and comma between the previous authors, the publication or copyright year in brackets, followed by the title of the book. Now the title needs to be italicized, so we can select this and click italicize, and this is followed by the publisher name, followed by full stop. It is now possible to copy what you have written here and paste it at the end of your assignment. The same process can be followed for any example of any of the books you see. For a book with 2 or 3 authors, the requirement is that you should include all the authors in the in-text citation, as well as at the end of your assignment, the full reference as we've done here. If the book has 4 or more authors, only the first author should be included in the in-text citation, followed by et al., which means and others. The reference list at the end of your assignment should include all the authors, however, for certain programs, whereas other programs do not require you to list all of these authors. The instruction here says, or if your institution requires referencing all named authors, follow this example. You won't know if you are required to use all the authors unless you use this guide in conjunction with the Academic Integrity Guide. And the Academic Integrity Guide, under authorship, says that for the full reference at the end of your assignment, you should check with your lecturers if you are required to list all the authors in the full reference list. For example, the Business School Sociology and Education require you to list all the authors in the full reference list, even if there are 20 or more. Then you have examples of a book with an editor and how you should create that. Notice that the names of the editors are followed by eds in brackets to show that they are editors. You have an example of a book with both authors and editors, which lists the authors to start with, and then you use this insert to say edited by and list the names of the editors. You have many other examples of books with no authors, books with organizations as authors, and books which have later or revised edition, in which the edition number is then required. If you go back to the Harvard referencing style, you will notice that you have examples of how to reference electronic books. Please note that when an e-book looks like a printed book with publication details and pagination, you should reference it as a printed book. So you can go back to the printed books instructions on Harvard. And this is an example. However, when your book does not have pagination, use this example here to create your reference. You'll notice that what we need to add is available at followed by the DOI or the URL and the accessed date. Electronic books can also be authored by numerous authors, can have authors and editors, and those examples are not included here. However, you need to take that into account and follow the instructions that are given in the printed books examples as to what and how many authors you need to list in your reference, for example. So you have to use the knowledge that you have for printed books in combination with the knowledge you have for electronic books to create the correct reference. If you have a book that has different authors for different chapters, and that may mean that the book may also have editors, you need to check out collections and parts of books, because this is where you have examples of chapters or sections of edited books. For example, this citation order requires the author of the chapter or section to be included first, the year of publication in round brackets, the title of the chapter, followed by in, which tells us that this chapter is found in the book with the title, and you'd fill in the title of the actual book, and then of course the edition and volume number, publisher, and the page range of the chapter or section that you are citing. If the source is unpaginated and available online, then you should also add available at the DOI or the URL and access date. Just in case you did not know, the DOI is the Digital Object Identifier, which is like a URL specific for ebooks and e-journal articles. So you have examples here where this author is cited here, as well as an example here. And the author's details appear first, followed by the year of publication, and the title of the chapter, followed by in, and then the editors of the book in which this chapter appears, followed by the book title, and then the other information required, including the page numbers where the chapter appears. So using this example, you should be able to create your own referencing here and then copy and paste it in your assignment. You have numerous other examples which you should explore so that you can find the best pattern that fits the example that you are referencing. For example, you have journal articles here and the citation order in which you should write the information. And you have an example of a print article as well as an example of an article with a DOI and an example of an article with a URL. You'll notice that the title of the articles appear in single quotation marks, and these are followed by the title of the journal itself in italics. So the journal title is the one that is italicized. And this is followed by the issue information, that is the volume number and the issue number, if available. And then by the pages within the journal where the article appears. With some journals, you might not have a page number, however. Instead, you may have an article number, in which case this is an example of how you would reference an electronic journal article with an article number. Please explore how to reference all the other examples here. You have web pages with individual authors, with organizations, with no authors, blogs, wikis, other articles in digital repositories. These examples here should help you. Learning environments, social media and networks, software, publications and periodicals such as magazine or newspaper articles, audio and music, films and programs, whether on DVD or otherwise. You have recordings as well as streaming and downloads, fine art, reviews and interviews, reports, personal communication. If somebody has conveyed something to you in a personal communication or otherwise, or public notice, that should also be referenced if you're using their ideas or information.